It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Go Thursday show, July 27, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you are watching live. However, you are watching or listening to Woodward Sports, we appreciate you. Braylon Edwards, we appreciate you for lunch today. Thanks, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Not a problem at all, man. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I see the two-shot. I see you working in that booth, Parker. Doing good. Didn't get a chance to go see Shohei Ohtani last night. The game rained out. But I did get a chance to go check out the 3-hour-long Oppenheimer, directed and produced by Christopher Nolan. And Ryan, it was a great movie.
Damn, I want to see that really bad. I absolutely do. Good stuff. Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you.
What up, fellas? I wish I was, I like being with you, but I wish I was at Comerica watching Shohei against the Tigers right now.
3-0 Angels right now as we speak in the top of the fourth. Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Tigers. Parker JB with us as well. Can I just quickly, just with the Tigers game on against the Angels today, you look up and you see Phil Nevin as the manager of the Los Angeles Angels, involved in really one of the great sports stories of all time. And if you haven't heard it, maybe you have, maybe you haven't heard it, but Phil Nevin was obviously not obviously, but Phil Nevin was the number one pick of the Houston Astros way back in the early 90s. Hal Newhouser at the time was the scout for the Houston Astros. And you ask, that Hal Newhouser? Yes, that Hal Newhouser, the one that spent 15 years with the Detroit Tigers as a player. He told the general manager at the time for Houston.
It was a 95 draft, Ryan.
It was the 95 draft?
Yep,
okay. 95. Take Derek Jeter with the number one pick and pay him whatever he wanted. They didn't. They instead took Phil Nevin, Angels manager now.
Who became a Tiger.
And Hal Newhouser quit the next day. And it's one of those.
You forgot the best part.
Well, he said, if I can't convince you to take Derek Jeter, then I'm not able to do my job. I'm not doing my job effectively. And I just every time I see Phil Nevin, I think of Derek Jeter and that Houston Astros story. One of the great sports stories that we have in our lifetime.
Bunch of teams passed on him too after that.
Yeah, he was the sixth pick.
It's such a good story because it's not like he went on to be an all-star. It's not like he went on and had, a couple all-star games, man. It's not like he won a couple Silver Sluggers. It's not like he, a World Series. The man went on to be the greatest captain in professional sports history and get 5 World Series and do it year after year after year. That's why the story is so great. It's not like he was just okay, being one of the greatest entities
in the 92 draft.
92, excuse me. He started in 95.
Came up in 95,
My bad.
That's something, man. Kalamazoo.
Freaking baseball.
Mm-hmm. Kalamazoo and in Jersey as well.
University of Michigan.
Pequannock, New Jersey, and then U of M. But I don't think he ever played
for
the Wolverines.
He went for half a semester.
The Yankees locked that up really quick.
Half a semester. They should have did the same with Drew Henson, man. And Tom Brady could have had a national championship.
He might have been a different guy.
He would have. He would have been a first-round quarterback.
John Elway, too.
Ooh.
He could have been a Yankee.
You say he's Baltimore. Hey, look, Baltimore, you're on the clock. Yeah.
Guys, big show for you today. We've got Anthony Broom coming up top of hour number 2. We'll talk about Big Ten Media Day in Indianapolis. Jim Harbaugh spoke to the media today. Lions camp as well. Players have the day off, so not much going on in Allen Park today. We do have some Lions-related topics to discuss. We have a Braylon top 10 list.
Top 10.
As well. But I do want to start
go ahead.
with Ryan Day. Ryan Day, yesterday at Big Ten Media Day, talked about discussing the Michigan-Ohio State game, moving on and moving it from the last game of the year. Says it will minimize the regular season, and he does not want that to happen. Thinks a discussion should be had with that. Braylon, as a player, one of the great players in Michigan football history, what say you regarding Ryan Day wanting to at least discuss the possibility of the teams moving that rivalry back, Michigan and Ohio State, till some point earlier in the season, so they don't play back-to-back weeks, or 3 times if they play in the playoffs.
The first thing I'll say is the NCAA has failed us if there's a situation where the Michigan Wolverines and the Ohio State Buckeyes can play 3 times in a row. I'll say it again. If there's a chance that Michigan and Ohio State can play 3 times in a row, then that's something wrong with the NCAA and how they choose to do business. Now, as it relates to Ryan Day's comment, he's a punk. I could care less what Ryan Day has to say. And the fact that he wants to move the game from the end of the season where all the marbles may fall, that's why he doesn't want to do it. What happened last year? When they still control their own destiny, beat Michigan, get to the playoffs, which they still made anyway, win the Big Ten, get to the playoffs the whole 9 yards. They blew it in Columbus. What happened the year before that? They blew it in Ann Arbor. He doesn't want that to be the last game the way you remember him by. When you lose early in the year, like when the BCS used to be, Ryan, you can still claw and fight and kind of scratch your way back and create a new narrative. When all the marbles are on the line, which they always have been, the entirety of this rivalry, especially since the 10-year war, 69 and 79, it's at the end of the season because it controls the college football landscape a lot of times, definitely controls the Big Ten landscape. It controls what these teams do. It controls the game. It is the game. You got to play it at the end. It means Thanksgiving. It's towards the end of the year. It's usually snow outside nowadays. That's where the game is born. But it's all the marbles. And some people can't add up. Some people can't take the pressure, Ryan and mine. And that's why you want to put this game early on in the year. If you can handle the pressure, stay in the kitchen and keep it in November like it should be. Ryan Day is just trying to move it. But it doesn't matter because he won't be here after next season anyway, Ryan. He's gone.
I think USC, UCLA could be one of the last games of the year as well. I mean, don't forget, they're going to be in the Big Ten. There's going to be some other teams in the Big Ten. But you leave this game alone. It's the game for a reason. You leave it on Thanksgiving weekend. And you know what, guys? When the big playoff comes, we got 12 teams coming up. Get rid of the freaking Big Ten championship game. Just get rid of it. That's the end of it. You don't need it. You don't need any of these conference games anymore. So there you go. You don't have to play back-to-back weeks. Play the playoffs and see where your chips may lay.
Too much money on the line. They'll never get rid of any championship game, whether it's ours, whether it's the ACC, whether it's the Ivy League. It's always money involved. But Ryan, let me ask you a question. Ohio State has to stay on the schedule. Like, that's what we believe to happen. What if there was a way around that in terms of moving the game? What if the negotiation was we don't move the game, but we take Ohio State off the schedule, off Michigan's schedule all the time? We have to play every year. Would you be okay with the game being on the schedule as long as it's the last game? Or would you just like, you know what? I don't mind playing the game the first of the season if we have the risk, the chance of not playing them in a given year.
No, Michigan and Ohio State have already made the agreement that they are playing that. Like, that's that natural rivalry that will always be played. It absolutely has to be played the final game of the season. And I know what Ryan Day is trying to do here. Ryan Day is scared.
Yes.
Ryan Day cannot beat Michigan any longer. His program is going here. Michigan's program is going here. And that's really what this is all about. Ryan Day knows he can go 40-3 all he wants in Big Ten play. Or what is it now, 33 or 32-2?
Yeah.
Ryan Day is. This year, most likely, when it's all said and done, Ryan Day at Ohio State is probably going to be 40-3 in Big Ten play. And his job is going to be on the line. We're going to be talking, or they are going to be talking in Columbus about whether or not to fire Ryan Day. It's really hard. I understand where he's coming from. He's going to lose against Michigan the final day of the regular season, and they're going to be talking about his job. I understand that. But just because you're scared for your job doesn't mean you move a 100-plus years long rivalry. You just don't do it. And I also think it's presumptuous, too, by both teams, by Michigan and Ohio State.
To think they have the ability to even make a change like that?
Well, to have the ability to think that
they're going to be the best 2 teams.
That you're just going to waltz through the Big Ten and end up in the Big Ten championship game and just be the best 2 teams in the Big Ten conference each and every year. And if you are, great. But if that's the case, don't take away from the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. Take that up with the rest of the Big Ten teams. If a Michigan State fan, if a Wisconsin fan, if a USC fan, or if somebody else in the Big Ten doesn't want Michigan and Ohio State to play in back-to-back weeks, take it up with your own team. Take it up with your own head coach. Get better, recruit, coach better, play better, beat Michigan, beat Ohio State every now and again. And you know what? Michigan and Ohio State won't play year in and year out, back-to-back weeks.
It's so crazy that, the shoe is on the other foot now. Michigan has been dominated by Ohio State for years. Ohio State had all the jokes, and we were the butt of all the jokes, deservedly so. Now they're getting their ass whooped so bad, they're to the tune of trying to change the game from the end of the season to moving it up early in the season. Ryan, you know what that does too? Like you said, it creates a space where you're like, you don't want all the marbles to be on the floor at the same time at the end of the season. You don't want them all on the table. You don't, because you're scared you can't win that game. Because you're scared, even if you somehow sneak into this new crafted playoff situation of 12 teams, you're scared that it's going to mess up your flow into that playoff system. That's why they want to play early. You play early, you lose the game, you change your narrative.
You got time.
Yep. Remember why Michigan didn't get into the national championship in 2006? It's because Florida lost early. Them and their president, and Urban Meyer, who would be at Ohio State, lobbied against them. They lobbied for it, and they let Florida in, and Florida beat the hell out of Ohio State, so they made the right decision. But it's because they lost early. Michigan lost late. When you lose late, people remember you. And in the case for Ryan Day, he doesn't want Ohio State fans, he doesn't want the city of Columbus to remember him as a loser to Michigan. If he loses early in the season, he can come back with some wins. He can beat USC in October. He can beat Texas here. He can beat Iowa and Wisconsin and fight to get back somehow to the Big Ten title. Change the narrative. Get into the playoffs. People forget about you losing to Michigan. You got into the playoffs, and now you got a shot. When the game's the last game, those 22 million or however many people watch that game, they're going to remember you losing to Michigan yet again at the end.
And honestly, last year, I don't remember exactly how you felt about it, but I did want to play Ohio State in the national championship game. I did want a second crack at them. There would have been nothing more that I would have taken pleasure out of than beating them again. Now, could it potentially be 3 times in 1 year that you play each other? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you had a scenario in which you had last year, Michigan and Ohio State unbeaten leading up to the game, Michigan wins, you play each other in the Big Ten championship game, Ohio State wins, you're both going to the playoffs.
This is true.
I mean, last year, if you look at the college football rankings, if you take the top 13 teams, now 12 teams make the playoffs. The number 13 team in the country had 3 losses, along with the number 11. Utah had 4 losses. Florida State had 3 losses. USC had 3 losses. And Clemson had 3 losses. That's 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, I guess Utah's
also
lost
after
game
the
in the bowl.
game. That's the
but
bowl
again,
game,
still, Utah's a 3-loss team.
Yeah.
So Clemson was a 3-loss team. So, if you play each other in back-to-back weeks and your only losses are to each other, you're going to the 12-team playoff.
And you're going, and you got a good chance to advance past that.
But Alabama and Auburn are going to be doing the same thing. Alabama
and LSU,
Auburn,
and Georgia,
Georgia, they're all going to be doing the same thing. So I don't know why Ryan Day feels like he is special.
Can I take a break from that conversation and go back to the conversation that I've been having with you guys since we came on the air? That's why I don't want so many teams in it. I don't like so many cracks at it. By opening up the doors to the 4 in the playoff and now 12 in the playoffs, you're opening up those doors. Now you get a chance to see a team play each other 3 times. Who the hell? And it may not happen. It may never happen. But who the hell wants to see Alabama and Georgia 3 times to decide the national championship? Who wants to see Michigan, Ohio State 3 times to decide the national championship? It may never happen, but the fact that it's a possibility, that's a failure in the system.
So you don't want to see 12 teams in the college football playoff?
He never did.
But what I'm saying,
not if I got to potentially see 2 teams play each other 3 times.
Right.
Like the national champion should be decided between the best of the best who are at the very top, not the guys that were close. It's like, oh, you know what? This seems a really good team. They're close. They got 2 losses. Let's throw them in there as well. It should be the best of the best.
I think it's the same exact argument, though. If you don't want to see 12 teams in the college football playoff, like we don't need to see conference championship games anymore. Yeah. But they're happening. Conference championship games and 12-team playoffs are happening because of money. And as long as you can have the money, nothing changes. So you got to work from there.
But the playoffs are money. I don't know why you need your conference championship and playoffs.
Because it's more money. It's more money.
But you also can't go.
It's a waste of time.
You can't go 125 plus years of conference champions, and all of a sudden now there's no conference champions. It's just a playoff system.
You had conference champions before,
Yeah,
but you
I'm-
just didn't have a conference
I'm
championship
saying a game.
Michigan, the Big Ten didn't even have a Big Ten championship game until about 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
That's true, but there's also like 87 teams in the Big Ten now. How do you decide who wins the conference? Sheesh.
Whoever has the best record at the end of the regular season.
I set myself up for that.
But what does Jim Harbaugh think about Michigan and Ohio State on the final day of the regular season? We'll get to that. What does he have to say about the investigation as well? Jim Harbaugh spoke to the media today in Indianapolis for the Big Ten Media Days. We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks. You can order online as well. They ship next day. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com.
Source, aged, prime, cut, packed to perfection.
Boom.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. How would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Woodward Sports Network. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are watching on YouTube right now, go ahead and hit that like button for us. Let's see if we can get to over 50 likes by the end of this segment. We'd certainly appreciate that. Lions talk on the way. But Braylon, Jim Harbaugh spoke to the media today. One of the things that he talked about was, of course, Ryan Day's comments.
Yeah.
What do you think about Michigan and Ohio State perhaps not playing on the final day of the regular season? Here's what he had to say. We'll get that up for you momentarily. Brett
McMurphy.
McMurphy. Here, I have it here on my phone. Never mind. I'll just read it to you. Sorry, guys.
No, you're all good. No, I was going to answer in terms of what he said.
I just want to read the quote for you.
Okay.
Michigan, here we go. We'll play that whenever it's scheduled. I don't have a particular opinion when it should be played. I think everyone is used to that game being played the last game of the year.
He handled it the right way. I mean, he said what he said. Like, he's got enough issues and worries and concerns right now and things to talk about with the media. For this one, it was very short and it was clear cut. Hey, look, the game's played when the game is played. This is when it's always been played. And he basically is hinting at what it's always signified and what it's always symbolized. But at the same time, whenever you want to play it, we're down to play it. We're just going to kick your ass like we always do. That's what I took from it.
All right. And he also talked about the NCAA investigation. Here's the quote, and again, I'm getting this from Brett McMurphy. He says, I'm not allowed to talk about any aspect of that ongoing situation. I'd love to lay it all out there. Nothing to be ashamed of. Now is not that time. So Brett McMurphy on Twitter with those quotes. We'll talk to Anthony Broom about it coming up top of hour number 2.
The media is not going to be happy that what they're going to get out of Jim Harbaugh in this situation. And by the media, I'm also talking about the extension of Michigan State and everybody that's pissed and want to see Harbaugh and Michigan go down with the ship. There's nothing to talk about. Like, there's really nothing to talk about. They want to know what happened to Matt Weiss. Well, can't talk about that issue. That's a situation for the government. It's a situation for whoever's concerned, for those federal agents. Can't talk about what happened, what's going on with the dead period, if you will, or the cheeseburger, if you will. You know what it is. It was a cheeseburger. It was a dead period, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to get his 2 games suspension, and we'll be rocking and rolling. There's nothing to talk about, so I don't know what they're even asking for.
You know, Paul Feinbaum also weighed in on this. Do we have that cut? We do have the Paul Feinbaum. Okay. So Paul Feinbaum weighed in on this as well, on Jim Harbaugh's suspension, and hell has frozen over. Here's Paul Feinbaum.
Paul, the number of times I've asked you questions about Jim Harbaugh, I can't even count them anymore. What do you think of this one?
Let's start with the NCAA. It's beyond a clown show, Greeny. It is a clown show, and the fact that they would sanction him for this is really beyond the pale. I mean, essentially, he's accused of buying somebody a hamburger and then not telling the truth about it. I mean, Greeny, don't eject me out of my seat here, but I'm starting to respect Jim Harbaugh for standing firm and refusing to go down the NCAA's path. This could have been over with a long time ago, but Harbaugh would not admit he lied. And because the NCAA is so backwards and so antediluvian, they ended up with this agreement. In the end, the NCAA has no jurisdiction over anyone or anybody, and they can't push things too far because the schools will take them to court, and the NCAA maybe will lose. But in the end, I think Jim Harbaugh looks really good here, and this might be my final broadcast ever on this earth because I'm leaving.
I was about to say, what have you done with Paul Feinbaum? That's not the room I usually see you in, and that's most certainly.
That's how he ended, Ryan and Monty, talking about this might be my last broadcast, because he is a known individual that has gone after Michigan. He's never on Michigan's side, whether it relates to bylaws, whether it relates to on the field, whether it relates to Jim Harbaugh, whether it relates to the quarterback situation. He has never been an individual that has supported Michigan in any realm of possibility. For him to go out and say that, for him to say exactly what he's saying, it's saying the same thing that Michigan people are saying. There's nothing here. There's nothing to talk about. And NCAA is just trying to hit somebody in the mouth. The problem is we're a lot better than you. So when you're hitting our ankles, not our mouth.
Thanks to ESPN Get Up with Mike Greenberg for that Feinbaum comment. I think it's he hit it on the head. And what he said is the NCAA really doesn't have anything against these teams. If they push too far, the teams could take them to court. Why the hell not take the NCAA to court? Jim Harbaugh said he didn't lie. And if he's going to go and swear on the Bible that he didn't lie, then I'm like, let's go to court.
That's another rift potentially between he and Ward Manuel, because you could say, Ward, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Someone's got to fall on the sword.
Ward's gone. All right.
Someone's got to fall on the sword.
I've been saying this for a long time.
Ward's got no chance with Jim.
No, he doesn't.
But,
Jim's, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with this suspension, it all seems so silly, because whether you believe it's over a cheeseburger or not, the whole thing is silly. It's almost like the Jameson Williams suspension for the gambling. He was gambling in his hotel room on like less than $100 on a different sport.
Yeah,
you're like, dude. Hello, Mr. Goodell. This is the dumbest rule you've ever seen. What now?
6 games.
The guy's on campus. He's already a commit. He's already committed to the university. Can't buy him a cheeseburger. Even if he did buy him a cheeseburger, even if Jim says, yeah, I bought him the cheeseburger, like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I am now dumber for having heard about it and talking about this.
At the end of the day, too, let's step outside the realm of law and what's right, what's wrong, what's in the rule book, what's not in the rule book, what line did he cross. Let's just talk about regular life. Commit already committed. He already is going to Michigan. He's already trying to bond with his coach, his future coach, Jim Harbaugh. He's on campus. The recruit might be hungry. This might be an organic conversation, and somehow they got to a point about him being hungry. They got some food. He got a cheeseburger. So effing what? You know how many times I've been up there, and I wish my coach would be like, hey, look, you hungry? You broke as hell as a college kid when you first get up there. For him to be hungry, to get a burger, I don't know how the conversation got to it, but it got to the point where he wanted some food. Jim Harbaugh got him a burger. Man, case closed. Keep coming at me with, well, rules are rules, and because he did this, Suspend him for the first 4. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change the trajectory of what Michigan is going to be.
He shouldn't be suspended for 4 games.
He's not going to, but I'm saying it doesn't even matter.
How are those burgers, by the way, at the Brown Jug? Are they
They're good. They're good.
Never had one.
I got an appetizer on there named after him, man.
You do?
100%. I know.
What
Is it the Braylon, the number one?
It's the Braylon sampler.
Really?
It's the Braylon sampler.
What is involved in the
Gotta
Braylon
have some
sampler?
Mozzarella sticks.
I knew it.
Mozzarella sticks, quesadillas, nachos, some wings, man.
Yeah.
Bone in, though.
Gotta get some bone-in wings.
Bone
Let's
in,
go.
not boneless.
Dang.
Gotta
Let's
get
do
some
a show.
at the Brown
Let's do a show
Jug.
from the Brown Jug.
Shout out.
That's great. All right, we'll talk to Anthony Broome coming up a little bit more about Michigan and Media Day and some of the stuff that Jim Harbaugh said today. But, guys, I want to get to the Lions next. Now, 3 players in the top 100. They have not had more than 3 players in the top 100 since 2015. It's been 8 years. We'll talk about who made the list today, and is there any more players on the Lions roster that will make that list. But first, a message from 5 Iron Golf.
Think you can play like a pro? Think you can play like a professional? Think you can play some golf? Well, come on down to 5 Iron Golf, down to Cambria Hotel, downtown Detroit. It's open now, so come on in. The doors are open. 13 simulators where you can have some damn good fun. It's going to be hot in August. You want to be inside, get some of that cool air, and to be downtown. Drinks, food, they got the whole thing for you. Set it up. And also, Woodward Sports Network Thursday Night Golf League starts August 26th. Gonna be that. I will be down there for the August 26th. Check it out. 5 Iron Golf, Cambria Hotel.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner jumper. Tweet us. Hop on the YouTube chat. Slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit. But we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports. Detroit's winning sports network.
Woodward Sports Network. Welcome in. Welcome everyone who is watching on YouTube. Hit that like button for us. Subscribe as well. Over 45,000 subscribers on this platform. Let's see if we can get to over 50,000 during football season. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be awesome.
Can't wait for football season. Cannot wait next month. Our next week is August already, baby.
You ready for fall?
I am. I am so ready for fall. Can't even tell you. Also, guys, Braylon, I wanted to get to this. I wanted to talk a little Detroit Lions. They are off today. No practice for the players today.
Yep.
But the top 100 list for the NFL.com has come out. This is voted on by the players, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
Completely by the players.
Allegedly.
What do you mean allegedly? Do you question?
Allegedly.
Do you question the players list?
DJ Metcalf is 101, by the way.
Thank you.
Aiden Hutchinson came in last week at number 88. Today, it's been revealed that Amon-Ra St. Brown on the list at number 67. Jared Goff on the list at 66. This gives the Lions 3 players on the top 100 list.
So far.
So far, they have not had 3 players in the top 100 list since 2015 when they had 5 players. Before we get to that, before we get to who could potentially also be on this list, what do you think, Bray, about Goff and Amon-Ra on the list and the Lions having 3 players?
Here we go.
No, I'm not even going to be like that. Look, the Detroit Lions, they ended the season well last year. They got some guys that can play some football, and we expect good things from this year. We expect them to win the NFC North, I myself included in that. I just think we might be getting a little bit of ahead of ourselves. Just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, number 68.
67.
Oh, excuse the hell out of me. 67 in the NFL. Let me name a couple of players that he's ahead of. Dre Greenlaw, linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. One part of that 2-headed monster at linebacker in San Francisco. Lamar Jackson is rated behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. Mark Andrews, who's listed as the number 3 tight end in the NFL, is listed at number 80. Geno Smith, comeback player of the year last year, most improved player, number 77. D-Hop, number 90, just to name a few. These are DK Metcalf, who's not even in the top 100, had another 1,000-yard year, another 6 touchdowns playing for Geno Smith, and the slowed-down version of the Seattle Seahawks.
That's the one that gets me.
So, look, I don't have a gripe against it. I think Jared Goff should have been a little higher because I think if you're going to actually look at his year for what he did, what he was as an NFC quarterback, he was number 2 NFC quarterback last year to me, only behind Jalen Hurts, and he's probably his season was probably top 5, maybe 6 season last year as a quarterback in the NFL, so he could be a lot higher. I'm fine with that. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, an individual that hasn't had double-digit touchdowns yet, in his 2 years as a Detroit Lion, he's had 11 touchdowns. He's averaged 10 yards a catch in his 2 years. So I just think we got to pump the brakes somewhat. And even Aiden Hutchinson at 88, I think he's going to be a good player, but remains to be seen. But he did have 3 interceptions last year, which is tying an NFL record. So maybe 88 for Aiden Hutchinson. I don't have a problem with that. It's projecting. I'm cool with that. But
I was
pump
shocked.
the brakes a little bit.
I was shocked at Hutchinson at 88, but that gave me hope that this guy is the real deal and that he is going to take the next step coming up. And I like where Amon-Ra St. Brown is, and I like where Jared Goff is. I think Lamar Jackson should be higher than that, obviously, but and I think DK Metcalf should be higher than D-Hop.
But let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, man.
He's a top 10 to me, man.
Yeah, but this top 10 wide receiver is different than top 100 player.
I get it.
These are top 100 players in the league. What has he done to? Let me ask you this question: who would you take, Mark Andrews or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Depends.
And this is real. Like, what player would you take? It's real. Because in my mind, when I make a list,
I think I would take St. Brown.
Okay, would you take Lamar Jackson or St. Brown?
That's the problem with the list is they're not. It's like not positions.
I would take Lamar over Goff.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter about the position because I'm asking you what player would you want to have, and
I'll take Lamar.
Thank you, and I'm asking
and I'll
players.
take him over Goff.
Exactly, I'm asking players that are behind. They got Trevor Lawrence on here as well.
Yeah. He's in the 90s.
He's in the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm not taking Amon-Ra St. Brown over Trevor Lawrence. I don't care what it is. Like, I'm not taking him over.
Yeah, you got me
I
there.
don't understand how the rankings were done. And this isn't me talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown because I agree how good he is, how good he's going to be. Trevor Lawrence is ranked below.
Yeah, that was a real surprise.
Just forget about Amon-Ra St. Brown at 67. Trevor Lawrence
He's top 20.
is 30 spots back of Jared Goff.
Yes.
Forget about picking the St. Brown. You can have a direct correlation there between Goff and
Lawrence.
And that's a wide
But it makes
gap
it even
there.
look more ridiculous when you said there's a 30-point gap between Amon-Ra St. Brown and
the double-digit touchdowns thing for me is I'm not fully on board with you when it comes to the double-digit touchdown thing for wide receivers, especially now because, I mean, there were only 3 wide receivers last year that caught double-digit touchdowns. Only 3 of them. That is an elite of the elite.
Yeah, but it was a down year. On average, you're going to have more than that, Ryan Ermanni. And to win games, you got to score points. And the reason why touchdown value for me is so high, usually the teams that are winning, the teams that have the elite players, they're scoring points. They're putting points on the board. And those players that are the elite, they're the ones putting the ball in the end zone. Stephon Diggs. You look at Devontae Adams.
But Diggs has only done it twice in his career, double-digit
He's
touchdowns.
only been mentioned in the last 5 years, so that's 2 out of 3 years. You look at Devontae Adams. Devontae last year, 14 with Derek Carr. The year before that, 11 with Aaron Rodgers. The year before that, 18 with Aaron Rodgers.
But that's what I'm saying. That's only one guy.
I understand that, but I'm talking about in the best. That's the way it has been structured. And maybe the NFL is moving in a different direction where you have more players, so guys are scoring less touchdowns. So maybe the Randy Moss days, the T.O. days, the Calvin Johnson, Braylon Edwards, had to sneak that in there. Maybe those days are gone, but at the same time, they still matter. The guys are getting in the end zone. So you could have a point there. Maybe they're spread out. Maybe there's enough guys on the team now where
it could be another way the game has transitioned.
Maybe
you
it's
know what
10
I mean? And where the game is evolved in transition.
I understand that, but at the same time, I do understand this. I've never seen DK Metcalf. I mean, I'm gonna just stop. I understand.
I'm
gonna take a break on it.
I do understand what you're saying. I think it's so hard to understand how this 4th round wide receiver is putting up these target numbers, these reception.
It's not hard to understand. He's just catching passes. He's not the first wide receiver that has caught a lot of passes underneath. He's not the first wide receiver. Wes Welker made a career.
The type of wide receiver he is.
But I haven't seen him make a what's the play you remember most about Amon-Ra St. Brown?
The touchdown against Minnesota to get the first win. And the last play of the game.
Okay, it was toughness.
Yeah,
that was toughness.
Yeah.
It was a big play. It was a toughness play.
That's the first one that comes to mind with Amon-Ra.
I'm just saying, when I think of the wide, why do we get to this every day? We get to this conversation.
Well, because it's an area that we disagree on, so we're like probably a little bit more passionate about it.
To me, all right, here you go. Top 10. I need to see elite plays. Like once I see that elite play, or once I see that play that I'm like, oh, okay. That's up there with the big boys. That's up there. When I see that play from him, then I can think about him crossing that top 10 threshold. But until I see it, he's just another really good wide receiver that catches everything that comes to him. Like, he's not going to drop a pass at all.
Only DeAndre Hopkins had better hands than him over the last 3 years.
And he's also like Cooper Kupp in a sense. He understands the offense just as good as Jared Goff. He understands the offense. Like, Cooper Kupp knows that offense just as good as Matt Stafford. So I definitely see that in him. When you talk top 10, I'm talking jumping over people, mossing people, one-hand catches. I'm talking about they can win games by themselves. Like when you look at the elite, those guys are going to, 3 games of the season, those guys are going to win that game for you. Justin Jefferson's going to do that, and the list goes on. So,
yeah, I mean, I am not of
touchdowns were down though. You might be right about that.
Yeah, touchdowns. I mean, only 3 of them. Now, 2 tight ends caught double-digit touchdowns last year, but only 3 wide receivers. So that is coming down on that. Let me ask you guys this. Now, in 2015 season, ironically, that was – think about this list. The 2015 list was after the 2014 season. Keep that in mind. Which the 2014 season, we believe, if they got by Dallas in that game, they had a really good chance to get to the Super Bowl. They did not. They came back in that 2015 season, and they were absolute garbage. They were 7-9 that next year, and everything kind of blew up.
That's because Sue left.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Now, they did get to the playoffs in 16, but it was a backdoor situation. It just was not the same. Who else could get on this list? Penei Sewell, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Cam Sutton. Where are these? Do we anticipate any of these players? Frank Ragnow. Do we anticipate any of these players to get on in a top 59 type? Because what was this? Now we know till 60.
Right.
We know from 60 to 100.
I don't think you can have a top 5. The Detroit Lions, by everybody's metric, whether it's PFF, whether it's ESPN, whether it's Fox, whether it's NFL Network, they're top 5 offensive line by everybody's metric. Some people got them as high as 2 or 3. You can't have a top 5 and not have 2 guys on this list. I definitely think you'll see Frank Ragnow. And everybody's talking about Penei Sewell right now. It wasn't just the local media talking about him wanting to be a leader, talking about him taking that next step to be a Tristan Wirfs type right tackle, a Rashawn Slater, excuse me. Everybody's seeing it. I think you'll see both of those guys higher up that list, Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow.
Will he be ahead of Micah Parsons? I'm joking.
Maz, who do you like on the list? You with me today?
Oh, I'm totally with you.
Okay.
I really like Trevor Lawrence to be top 50, not number 98.
I just don't get the Lawrence
top
thing.
Top 20.
I don't.
Well, he's still young, so I'll give him top 50. There's a lot of other players you got to plug in still.
What I saw last year and what he was able to do in that comeback game against Justin Herbert, who just got paid, what he was able to do in that second half, especially that fourth quarter, if he wasn't going up against the best player in the game, who knows what who knows what Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jags could have did last year, man. They went up against
rolling.
They went against KC in the second round. There's nothing they can do about that.
They played hard, too.
And they played hard. They got down to the second. So that's why I say, Ryan, you got to look at it like that. Came back, and they had a shot against KC in the second round as well. So, and they added. You saw the catch by Calvin Ridley?
Heck yeah.
That's what we talk about.
Yeah.
That's our odds-on favorite for most improved.
Hell yeah.
This team is going to be rocking and rolling, Ryan.
You mentioned Frank Ragnow, guys. Frank Ragnow had some really positive things to say about Jared Goff, who comes in on this list at number 66. Here is Frank Ragnow talking about Mr. Goff.
This difference outside of just seeing his confidence grow.
I think one thing I can say about Jared year 1, year 2, 3 is he's always been the same guy, and that's one thing I really do respect about him. That first year was tough. We went through it as a whole team, and he took a lot of the brunt of it, and he's been the same guy ever since. And if there's anything noticeable on the field, it's the confidence. And I think he's really understanding what Ben wants, and him and Ben are seeing eye to eye, and I think it's pretty special.
It's funny. I saw Oppenheimer last night, and Cillian Murphy, who plays Oppenheimer, was speaking German a lot in the movie. So it sounded like I was listening to just now. I was listening to the movie. Frank, the one thing about him, he's a silent leader. He's a silent leader. I didn't necessarily hear exactly what that message is, but one thing that came up just now thinking about it is leadership. We're talking about leadership. Frank Ragnow is one of those guys. He's the silent, quiet guy on that offensive line, and they rock and roll through him. Taylor Decker lends on him. Penei Sewell lends on him, and Jared Goff. Yeah, Jared Goff lends on him a lot too. So they're very lucky to have a guy like Frank Ragnow that can balance all that, man. It's a great leader.
He also spoke about his own health. Remember I don't know how many months ago it was when he said, hey, my toe, they can't operate it on anymore. It's inoperable, and I just got to play through the pain. Well, he kind of backed off on that statement here to the media. He says, I'm feeling good.
Hank said, you kind of are accepting that you might not ever be 100% again. Do you know how close you'll be to 100%?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I know I let this slip this offseason where I said inoperable and just kind of maybe got a little bit blown out of the water. I'm feeling really good. Right now I'm in a good space, mentally especially. Like, I'm confident and I'm feeling really good out there.
So that was a big deal, I think. So many people were freaking out. Going all crazy. His toe is inoperable. And he said that was totally blown out of proportion.
He said he opened his big mouth and he shouldn't have said anything.
He's totally fine.
That's great.
That's why people don't talk about injuries.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's why they don't.
Well, someone got a hold of him and said, hey, man, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing, Frank? So, he backed off on it. But he's playing hurt.
Right.
You got a bad toe. Look, Aaron Judge has been out for about a month and a half, 2 months. The Yankees are in the tank because of his toe. He's coming back tomorrow. I think they should just sit him out for the rest of the year.
Remember,
Frank Ragnow has been playing offensive lineman, man. How many times he gets stepped on? Never mind the push-off and all of that kind of stuff, man. That's a tough-ass position to be playing with a bad toe.
Remember, Deion Sanders, turf toe almost ruined his career for the most part.
Look at him. Look at his foot now.
That's what that turf toe. He had that turf toe with the Redskins. Well, they're the Commanders now. Yeah. But when he got to the Redskins, got turf toe, played with it. It messed him up, set out the season, messed up. He retired off that turf toe, and then he ended up coming back to the Baltimore Ravens years later.
That's great stuff. Coming up next, Braylon is going to tell me about wide receiver touchdown production over the last. Braylon Edwards hates Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Whoa, you don't do that. You don't say that. You don't say that.
But first, the message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford, Braylon does not hate you, Amon-Ra. I'm kidding.
It's too late.
Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale with Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that you've come to know in Dearborn over the last 55 years. They are bringing their talents now to Ferndale with Les Stanford Buick GMC. Go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, if you are looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, standing strong on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want. All GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
I love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Woodward Sports Network on a Thursday, July 27th. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Parker. We got JB, the man. And we also have Anthony Broom coming up from Big Ten Media Day in Indianapolis. He'll be talking to us about what he's learned there in Indianapolis. Braylon, we're going to do this wide receiver thing in just a little bit. I'm going to table this.
About that. You already got me on the
I already
poop
got
list.
you on this.
You got me on the poop list.
I already got you on the poop list.
And it's also a top 10 day, so I'm going to save my energy.
It is. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers.
That guy.
He is completely reinventing himself.
He's your hero now.
Well, he's not my hero.
He's getting close.
But I like him now.
What have I told you about him all along? What have I told you?
I
Maz has told you he's a good guy.
I loathe Aaron Rodgers as a member of the Packers. It's just inbred in me that I don't like Brett Favre and I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I don't like either guy. I don't like either guy, period.
Yeah. You're allowed.
But I like him. I don't like him less now.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers is a completely different person for the Jets. And he is opening himself up to a whole new world of possibilities because he is now the darling in New York, as if he wasn't already. He gave back $35 million, took a $35 million pay cut. So he went from $110 million to $75 million to $80 million, $75 million, $80. Uh-oh. What's walking behind the door here? Look at this guy.
D-Mac.
Oh, my gosh. Look at D-Mac here. Look at D-Mac. Oh, my gosh. D-Mac. Is that D-Mac of Impact?
Impact fame.
Impact. Is that Darren McCarty of Impact fame?
I'm in warrior mode. I just want to let everybody know that I was officially invited onto the bottom line. Final word. I'm sorry. You know what? You know the guys that I work with at Big D Energy. They're not very nice like me. So Monday, after Braylon and I are done torching Oakland Hills North Golf Course, I will bring you an update. But tonight, boys, we're in full warrior mode. On my way to Fowlerville.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Good luck tonight, Mac.
You're looking good, Mac. Look at that hawk. Look at that hawk, baby.
That thing was good, man.
Mac is raw.
I love it.
Gotta get the knees warmed up, man. Gotta get the knees warmed up.
I
love that guy.
He's so great.
I love it. I love that he gets a chance to not only compete, but operate in a space that he loves just as much as hockey, and that's wrestling. Like, not a lot of people get a chance to operate in another space that they may like as much as something that they did great. He loves wrestling. He gets a chance to do that on a nightly basis. It's fun to watch.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
Even he likes Aaron Rodgers.
And also fun to watch the transformation, just getting back to what we were talking about of Aaron Rodgers. Look, you take a $35 million pay cut. That's a lot of cheese, Bray.
That's the biggest pay cut in NFL history.
That is a lot of cheese.
You know what? It's so much cheese that it made me send a tweet out. Parker, put that tweet up. This is what I put out earlier. What? And that was me questioning how much he did. What did in terms of taking a $35 million pay cut is remarkable, and it proves where his motivations lie. Winning the Super Bowl as a New York Jet. Hell, this is major. I've never seen an owner give back $35 million for the betterment of a team. I've never seen the owner give $35 million back. I've never seen the owner give anything back to a team that he felt like he was trying to get. For Aaron Rodgers to turn around and say, look, I saw everything people said about me in Green Bay. This is who I was. Not only did he look and listen to what everybody said, he looked himself in the mirror. Looked himself in the mirror and said, how do I want to be? I have a chance to do something different. Also, I feel like it goes back to what we talked about, how he was drafted. I think he's had a chip on his shoulder since the draft, and he's never really been able to release it. I think he's in a better situation now. Like we always say, sometimes you just need new fresh air. He's got that fresh air in New York. The Brett Favre thing is over. The Green Bay back and forth thing is over. Whose fault it was, that's over. Ayahuasca, all that's over. He's now on a team that needs him just as much as he needs them. They need each other equally, New York Jets. And he's say, you know what? I don't have to be this aloof guy over here in the corner by myself. I don't have to be alone. I don't have to be a loner. I don't have to be a guy that's scared to let others in. He let Sauce Gardner in with the chain. He's letting Garrett Wilson in. He's letting the team in. He's going to have a damn good year because he realizes it's actually much easier than I thought it would be to make friends with the team, to be a part of the team. I can let myself go and be a little vulnerable. I think that's what he's showing now, that vulnerability.
And Maz, he's not just giving $35 million back because he wants to be a good person and give the owner back his money. He's giving $35 million back, and on the day that happens, 24 hours later, Dalvin Cook is in the building.
We'll see if they get him signed. I think they will. Give a little backup to Breece Hall, actually give him a little boost, let him relax, let him get healthy again, get that knee working. But to have him in camp, and yesterday Dalvin Cook put out an Instagram, and all he did is put a little smiley face on the back of just a black background, a little smiley face when someone said something about Aaron Rodgers taking that $35 million pay cut. So I'm really believing that Dalvin Cook will find his home in Jersey with the Jets. And this, I want to play a piece of audio with Aaron Rodgers today. Just look at him. He is a different person. Check it out.
You talked about it's going to come out later today, and like last week, Robert said he would be shocked if you don't play multiple years. Was that something you intended coming in, or has something changed because you're enjoying yourself and see what's going on out here? I mean, how has that worked?
Yeah, I mean, definitely some of it is how much fun I'm having. It's all about the body, how the body feels. The team gave up significant pieces for it just to be a one-year deal. I'm aware of that. I think there was an awareness of that. Now, again, anything can happen with my body or with the success we have this year. But I'm having a blast, so I don't really see this as a one-year and done thing.
Football's fun again for Aaron Rodgers. Football is fun. Like his last year at Cal, I think they were 11-1. He had a hell of a year, 4,000 yards, threw a bunch of touchdowns. He had a fun year. He won the Super Bowl in 2010. It was a fun time. He, Clay Matthews, the boys, they were hanging out, Randall Cobb. It was a lot of fun. Football, somewhere along the way, it became just about winning, and he distanced himself from the love of football. It's fun again. He's getting changed. He's having fun. He's seeing Garrett Wilson execute catches. It's the Big Apple. It's a different world, man, when you're successful in the Big Apple. Ryan, when you're successful in the Big Apple, it's a lot different. Plus, it's just fun. He's found that love of football again, and when you find that love, you see people do great things, and I think it's gonna be a damn good year for him, man.
And there's something about moving to the Jets too that keeps you young a little bit. I mean, try to apply it to your own life. Like, there's something about being around these young kids in the back. That just kind of keeps you young. You feel good. You feel like a grandpa sometimes.
I love those guys.
You feel like an older uncle sometimes. You know what I mean? Just being around the youth, it makes you feel good. When he was in Green Bay, it was a veteran team. Where you're just going through the business aspect of it year in, year out, and that's fine. But a rejuvenation never hurt anybody.
I'm going to tell you like this, and I can't speak from the side of leaving one spot and going to New York because we weren't having success. Aaron obviously has come from Green Bay. There was success. There's 13-3 seasons. There's a Super Bowl win in there somewhere, a bunch of playoff wins. So I'm coming from Cleveland, different situation, but it's similar in a sense towards the end for Aaron. Those last 5-6 years, when I was in Cleveland, man, I hated the city. I hated going out. There was nothing to do. It was small. I hated Ohio. People from Ohio. I hated everything about that. Like everything Cleveland, I wanted to distance myself from. Soon as the summer came, soon as the off season came, I did everything I could to get out of Ohio. I came to Michigan. I was out in Florida. I traveled around the country. I have fun. And I just completely forget that I played for the Cleveland Browns. Same thing he was doing in Green Bay, trying to stay away from it. Things got bad. It was annoying. It was tough. Every time you come into the facility, your energy is just drained. It's just like, damn, why am I here? Then when I got to New York, it's like the burden was lifted. They were 3-1. The energy was different. I'm going out in New York City. You got the lights, the big city. We're winning. We get to the playoffs. Energy changed. Same thing with Aaron right now. That energy is changing. Like you wake up, you want to come see your fellas at the practice facility. You wake up, you want to come see what the new install is. You wake up and you want to get ready to play against the Buffalo Bills on September 11th. And that's what they're doing right now.
And you're having so much fun. When you're having fun, you don't want that fun to end. And I think that's one of the reasons why Aaron Rodgers, too, is not making this, turning this into a one-year Super Bowl grab now or never kind of thing. It's a 2-year window, and he's going to do everything he can to stick around and have some fun in the city.
There's a word Aaron Rodgers has mentioned for the last 3 years in a row, and everybody knows what that word is. Hasn't mentioned it one time since he's been in New York, and that's the R word, retirement. He used to talk about retirement all the time the last 3-4 years in Green Bay. I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I don't know what next year holds. I don't know what next year holds. Season's over with. It's the same thing. We don't know what next year holds. We got to see. I got to see how the body feels. Now, no, take some of this money back. This is fun. I like this. He's not talking about the future anymore because he likes the present.
Listen, man, these are for the Lions fans. This guy screwed the Packers. He literally told them, hey, F you. Pay me $100 million for 2 years. Then he gets traded, forces a trade. Obviously, they didn't get what they want to get for a Hall of Fame quarterback. He set Green Bay back big time. You guys ought to be happy.
And then
this guy ought to be your freaking hero, Lion fans.
Then he gave New York Green Bay's money. It's like, hey, you know what?
He literally did.
He gave him Green Bay's money.
That's so well said.
No, that's all Maz. That's not me. If that's not the giant middle of his finger I've ever heard.
He said, F you, Green Bay.
I wish they played this year.
It would have been awesome.
Oh, my God.
That's so great.
Next year, the NFL is going to have Jets at Green Bay. Book it.
They're definitely not putting him in anybody's Green Bay Ring of Honor. You can't do it. After he just gave
so funny.
I wouldn't do it. It is the truth.
That's so funny.
That's why he gave the money away.
Unbelievable.
I think that's why he did it. That's how much he freaking hates them.
Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Anthony Broome live from Indianapolis. Big Ten Media Day. Michigan spoke there today, Jim Harbaugh. We'll get to Broomer next. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, because summertime is a great time to join Planet Fitness and beat low E. Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym, tons of equipment, tons of equipment, a full body workout in 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by with more than 50 convenient locations in the Metro Detroit area and across the world. No matter where you go, you can find a Planet Fitness to work out in. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or check them out online at planetfitness.com.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Join us NFL tomorrow. We will be at Dispo Romeo, 12 locations around the state of Michigan, 21 and up, and it is rec only. Simply put, they got the best brands. I love going there. Riley will see you tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dispo, where you get the best plug, the best cannabis.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program.
Cannabis is good.
Welcome in. Hopefully everybody's having a good day today. A lot better day today than it was yesterday. My goodness, that weather was absolutely crazy. Power out all over the place. Hopefully you have power. Tomorrow, we are going to be at Dispo, as Braylon said. Looking forward to that. The Romeo location over there on Schaefer Drive. So we'll try to get in contact with Anthony Broom in just a couple of minutes. Braylon, one of the things that Jim Harbaugh said today, though, regarding the quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, look at this. Look at this. He is a once-in-a-generational type of quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. I love that. I absolutely love that. I've said all along that I think J.J. McCarthy is the best quarterback talent-wise, maybe in my lifetime. He has got all the frickin' tools.
What's his stats?
I don't care about stats.
I'm just asking you because I don't.
You know what his stats are, man?
I don't see what you guys see. I don't see him like on a pedestal.
You're frickin'.
I see kid's got a lot of gumption. He can move in the pocket. He's got a big arm. But what have I seen? I don't see any 1,000-yard receivers. I don't see him running for 800 yards.
Dumb.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Do I want him to be phenomenal? I do. Braylon, am I wrong?
You're not wrong in the sense that he hasn't shown the full package put together for you to be able to see what Jim Harbaugh is talking about, for you to see what Ryan is talking about, Maz. But I'll put it to you this way. When you look at J.J. McCarthy, when Harbaugh makes that comment, he's coming from this point of view. Outside of Denard Robinson, who was a 4.2 40 guy, J.J. McCarthy is the fastest quarterback Michigan's had. Outside of Chad Henne, who J.J. McCarthy's arm might be bigger than Chad. Chad had a big arm. J.J.'s arm is just as big. You're talking about a guy that's a leader. You see him at the press conference. You see what he talks about. You see him always there for his team. You see him always getting better. You see he doesn't get rattled. You see even when he loses, he comes to the podium. He's ready to talk about the loss. He's ready to talk about getting better and moving forward. J.J. McCarthy is what you look for as your centerpiece to a team to be a leader at the quarterback position. Now, you put that together. See, the problem is, man, you haven't seen it put together.
Right.
You haven't seen him come out in the game where he just dominates and have 412 and 5 touchdowns. You haven't seen him have that game where he has 250 passing, but he also had 160 yards rushing. He hasn't put that final piece together, and that's not just his fault. Offensive coordinators change every year. They've had 3 offensive coordinators in the last 3 years. They keep changing the coordinators and things change. J.J. McCarthy, you see his stats last year, 2,719 yards, 22 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 79% quarterback QBR. Appreciate that, Parker. You look at that, and last year he spent the first 4 games trying to figure out who the hell the starting quarterback was going to be.
Right.
People forgot about that. Cade McNamara, is it him? Is it JJ? You got the first half. You got the second half. You got the second quarter. You had to play that dumbass quarterback carousel for the first 4 games of the season, also in training camp, also in spring ball. Now, all the chips are in J.J. McCarthy's hands. Jim Harbaugh, he's giving him the keys. The team believes in him. They're going to change the offense around and pass the ball a little bit. You got 2 running backs this year. It's going to be a situation where they crush it with that offense. They're going to get better. It's a new offense. But J.J.'s finally in control from January to January. That's how you win as a quarterback. You got to be January to January. You can't get plugged in somewhere in September and figure it out unless you get lucky like Ohio State in 2014.
I'll be happy to eat crow.
Yeah, no, I think you're going to eat crow. And again, with the running back situation that Michigan has, Maz, he's not going to have 4,000 yards passing. It's just not the type of offense they run.
I just don't see generational. Well, I don't know what he's talking about.
Jim Harbaugh,
you're freaking blind.
Okay.
You're blind.
Harbaugh's never had a 1,000-yard receiver. Stanford,
you don't know football then.
I know.
Stanford
never had a 1,000-yard receiver. When I was with the 49ers, Never had a 1,000-yard receiver unless Crabtree snuck 1,000 maybe one of the years, which I doubt. Didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver since he's been in Michigan. He's been knocking on the door. I think J.U. Chesson had 900. He's knocked on that door, but he hasn't walked through it. So it's not J.J. Jim Harbaugh's never had a 1,000-yard receiver, so we'll see.
And we will see. And we will see Anthony Broom right now, Michigan Wolverines coverage for the Wolverine on 3, part of the On 3 Sports Network. Anthony T. Broom on Twitter. Broom, how you doing, my friend?
What up, Ant?
I'm doing well. I'm in basically what looks like an airport hangar underneath Lucas Oil Stadium right now. So, yeah, we're got a couple minutes till Jim Harbaugh does his breakaway session, but nothing to talk about here, really. Just kind of a mundane couple days.
Hey, one of the things, before we get to all that other stuff, just the conversation we were having, Jim Harbaugh said earlier today that J.J. McCarthy is a generational type quarterback. And I think everybody goes into a tizzy when they hear that. But if you look back at Michigan's quarterbacks, I mean, he might not have the stats, but talent-wise, he's as good as they've ever had. Is that off base?
I don't think so. I mean, from a pure talent, dual threat type of perspective, I mean, I think you could argue maybe their most talented player at that position since Drew Henson. From a playmaking perspective, I mean, he's not quite as electric as like a Denard Robinson was, but Denard couldn't throw the football. So, he's got the big arm. He can move. He's mobile. Again, I mean, when you start, you bring up the names Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, like those guys are unicorns. So, like, I tap the brakes on that. A little bit of a hyperbole and coach speak on his part, but yeah, in terms of what Michigan's had, just using it as the bar is what Michigan has had. I think there's still just so much more to unlock with what he can do. So generational for Michigan, but generational, we'll see about that.
Anthony, I think he's using the Sean Payton school of getting his players motivated today. I think that's what he was choosing to do. With Michigan, with all the distraction, how much do you think the distraction of what's going on with the 4-game suspension, the negotiation of that suspension, and other things off the field, how much do you think that'll affect Michigan starting off this season, getting going? Because this could be a national championship run.
Yeah, honestly, the fact that it could just be like a 4-game suspension and not, he's gone for the first month of the season, I think that's a big distinction here because, September is, you round into form in the later months, but September is really where you build that callus and you build that identity of what your team's going to be, the bones of what your team might wind up being. So, Harbaugh, if this suspension goes through, again, it looks like it's headed that way, but nothing's final yet. I'm not super worried about how it will affect things because it's going to cover the non-conference, which is 3 cupcakes again, and then you come out and play Rutgers in week 1. So week 1 of that Big Ten season. So yeah, I think very highly of the player leadership they have and the coaching staff that's around him. So at this point, from my perspective, you almost just kind of eat it and move on from there.
Hey, Anthony, what was Jim Harbaugh's demeanor today? Because he's going to get to the podium. He's going to be asked about it. He was asked about it. Didn't say much, but it sounded like he would like to. What was his body language and everything else that goes along with it? Was he fired up about that topic?
I don't know, fired up. I mean, we've seen him fired up before, and kind of, he'll go off on his rants and his tangents. But for him, I think the fact that he didn't say, hey, I'm with you. I would love to just disclose what happened and talk about this and work through it because the things that they're accused of are so frivolous. We're talking about burgers and watching guys do push-ups on Zoom. And I know that there's that grade 1 violation of, not being truthful with the NCAA or being misleading with the NCAA. Again, I just think he wants to get it over with. So my understanding is that was a leak that came from the NCAA. Michigan was not aware that would drop this week, and how convenient it drops right before he speaks twice to the media in the span of a few days. But yeah, I get I get the sense he just wants to put it behind him too, because again, it is just it's not a distraction that it could derail your season, but it's a distraction the same way that like a mosquito buzzing around your face would be.
Talking to Anthony Broom on Twitter at Anthony T. Broom, writes for Michigan Wolverines coverage at the Wolverine on 3. Anthony, speaking of Ohio State, Ryan Day had mentioned that he thinks there should be consideration for the game to be moved, Michigan and Ohio State. What was Jim Harbaugh's take on that and your thoughts? How was that received at Big Ten Media Day?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say that he laughed it off or anything like that, but I think Michigan's perspective is that, hey, play it on September 1st, play it on the last weekend in November. It doesn't really matter. Like, they don't feel like it takes away from that rivalry. Now, from my perspective, I think that if you're looking at a chance where they could play 2 weeks in a row or potentially as many as 3 times in a single season, I think maybe I think they should be open to that discussion to do that. But from a Michigan perspective, they'll play it whenever it's played. They're happy to do it where it is now. Actually, from what I've been told, I think Michigan would like to keep that on that last weekend of the year, but they'll play it whenever, and it's not nearly as big as a consideration as apparently it is down in Columbus.
Hey, Anthony, a quick question. Everybody makes so much about the offense, and obviously all Michigan fans are excited because Blake Corum came back, Donovan Edwards is back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The defense doesn't get talked about enough for me, and I think defense could be the strong suit for Michigan this year. Talking about Junior Colson, talking about Will Johnson, who I know Ryan Ermanni is excited about because he's a great sporting staff. So talk about that defense and how good they could be this season for me, please.
Yeah, I like the depth there. I think through the transfer portal, they were able to augment, the linebacker position. You were able to bring in a body at cornerback. I feel like on the back end, in that back seven, they have a chance to be a little more athletic, a little more versatile in how they can mix things up back there. That defensive line, the edge guys, I think the depth there is probably a little bit better than it was last year. Defenses, so much gets talked about the offense and opening up the offense and how that affects the outlook. But, they lost that TCU game because they couldn't get one or two stops they needed to get themselves, over the hump in the second half of that game. So I think that's a challenge that Michigan has taken on. I think the defensive guys are kind of fired up to show that they've put that behind them. And like I said, I feel like just from a physicality and from an athleticism perspective, I think that they're in as good a shape on that side of the ball as they have been under Jim Harbaugh.
Anthony, I wouldn't be doing my job, I apologize, if I didn't ask about my nephew, Micah Pollard, second year Will linebacker coming in. How's Mike up there doing, and what are the chances that he can be one of those pieces you talk about depth in terms of blitzing off the edge this season?
Yeah, I know they like him. They like Micah Pollard a lot. Like I said, the depth in that room has gotten, a little bit more with, you bring in Ernest Hausman from Nebraska, and obviously juniors there, and Mike Barrett came back, and Jimmy Rolder's in that group as well. So, I think they like those guys a lot. They like all of them. And when you talk about, a defensive coordinator and Jesse Minter, who likes to bring pressure from a lot of different areas, I think we might see a little bit more of that from the linebackers this year because they are so deep in that position, and you can kind of rotate those guys in and out and keep them fresh. So fall camp gets going on August 2nd. We'll see what the depth chart starts to look like from there, but Micah Pollard's a guy that they like a lot.
Anthony, I got two for you. First one is, who do you think will run the team for the 4 weeks that Jim will be absent?
Well, I think, assuming that it's just a game suspension, I think it will still be Jim Harbaugh. But on Saturdays, now Sherrone Moore and Grant Newsome might get that 1-game suspension as well. So you're probably looking at Mike Hart, leading the way on that first Saturday, and then it probably gets turned over to Sherrone Moore from there, at least, as far as game day prep goes. But like I said before, as long as this is just a suspension of games and not being away from the team for a month, Jim Harbaugh and that process is going to kind of continue to be what it normally would be. Just Saturdays will look a little bit different.
Hey, the Big Ten's got a little bit some bad pub going on, especially with Northwestern, and now you hear P.J. Fleck at Minnesota. What are their contingents at the Big Ten Conference right now in Indy? Have you heard anything about what they're doing? Have you heard anything from their coaching?
Yeah, I'm not sure from a conference perspective. I mean, they're taking the issue seriously. Obviously, Northwestern's was dealt with the way it was. PJ Fleck, it kind of seems like, again, I don't know a ton about what they're accused of there, but PJ took the podium earlier and kind of, bullet point by bullet point explained what happened and why, the accusations against them for some of the stuff they're accused of is frivolous as well. So, yeah, it's I know the conference is aware of these allegations and especially there's a lot going on with the gambling too. Iowa's got a gambling scandal going on. That's another consideration. So, but it seems like the Big Ten is pretty in tune with this and will support the institutions, however they can, and making sure everyone's following the rules.
Hey, PJ, I'm sorry, Rye. PJ Fleck, supposedly one of the things that he made his team do was clap for him as he was coming on the field. And if he didn't like the ovation that they gave him, he would go back in the tunnel and come back out and have the team clap for him again. I mean, and then there's the Fleck Bank. You have to. There's so much stuff going on with that guy. They call him like I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, that's the key word. I think if he could be accused of and tried for anything, it's the fact that he is exceptionally weird. I think in a lot of ways, maybe even more so than Jim Harbaugh in some ways, because of the self-referential stuff. But I don't know what's going to happen there. He came prepared. I mean, he had the prepared statement. He had bullet points. I thought he was going to give a PowerPoint up there with kind of fighting all this stuff off. But interesting times. Out there in the Big Ten West.
Shocking. The guy that says row the boat is a little bit off.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Good stuff. Anthony, we appreciate your time, man. From the depths of Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Follow Anthony on Twitter at Anthony T. Broom. And, of course, check out his Michigan coverage for On 3 at the Wolverine On 3. Thanks so much, Anthony. Appreciate it, bud.
See you, bud.
Of course. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. We are going to take a break. When we come back, it is a Top 10 Thursday. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but two vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars. One for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway?
Oh, I'd
Take
love
your
to win.
closest friend and live it up in the city that never
No.
sleeps. It's a Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win the $100,000 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink that tastes great for the people that want to look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves. drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
All right, here we go. It is a Top 10 Thursday. That means we go to Braylon Edwards.
Being easy. Hey, man, this is what you were talking about PJ Fleck. The players, they cheer for him when he comes out of the tunnel, and if he doesn't do a good job, or if they don't do a good job, he goes back. Well, he's not the only coach that does that, because Lloyd Carr.
Did he really?
If anybody says they played for Lloyd and they said they didn't clap and cheer for Lloyd when he came into the meeting room, they're a liar and they never played for Lloyd.
Oh, wow.
When Lloyd would walk into the team meeting room, you probably know this from DT and story, like we yell, like we wait for him to come in, like we lose our mind, like it's tradition that started years ago and we continued it. So sometimes it's just part of tradition. Sometimes they're a good traditions.
I think DT's mad at me.
I think Fleck's
he's
still a
mad at me
wacko.
too.
Dave Terrell.
He's mad at me too.
He's mad at
What's
me.
he mad at
He
you
won't
for?
return my text now.
He's mad at me because I'm doing a show with him.
And that's why.
Didn't you do his homework for him?
Hey.
No.
People out there listening.
No. That did not happen.
People are out there listening.
That
All
is
right.
not the truth.
It is that time we're playing. This is our segment. This is top 10 on our first segment. Top 10. Today we're going to do top 10 duos, wide receiver quarterback combo duos in the league. We've been talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown. We can't seem to stop talking about Jared Goff. So why not do
Let me refresh
the quarterback? I appreciate that. Did that come out of your cup?
No, it's a third cup.
I appreciate that.
It's like the third. It's like the third spitter.
Look at that
third
guy.
shooter.
Spitter. I split it. I want you to be hydrated for this.
Sometimes things that come in threes are a good thing, unless you're watching Total Recall. I do appreciate that.
Just want you to be hydrated for the segment.
All right. You guys got an idea who's going to be in the top 10 duo?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
You think you know?
Yes, I do. Top 10 duos, I got them.
You got them.
Is this of all time or this year?
No, this is this year.
Okay.
This is coming into the season. You guys ready to start this process?
I am.
Oh, how about, can I do it? Can I do something?
What do you want to do?
Can we guess the duo?
Okay.
And you tell us which number they are.
I like that.
Right. You're only allowed to pick one each. Here.
Okay, we'll go one for
Go ahead,
me,
I'll
one
let you
for
go first.
Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs.
But you got to guess where they are then.
Oh, no, you tell me where they are.
Okay.
And then it'll get harder as we eliminate them.
All right,
Leave
there
me a
you
little
go.
music here, JB.
All right.
They're on the list? Are they on the list, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, they're at number 3.
Good job, Parker. You're
Okay,
on it.
great.
There you go.
Maz?
Maz. is on
My
you.
turn?
Yes.
Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson.
Okay, so they're number 2. They're on the list. They're number 2, but don't pay attention to the 1 because I messed up. So they're 1. I forgot about a duo.
Okay, so they're number 2.
They're number 2.
Okay. I'll go Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Damn it.
They are not on here. That's the group I forgot. They're number 1. Oh! My guy Parker came in there for me. Pause. They're number 1.
Number 1.
They're number 1. Jamar Chase. The reason why Burrow and Chase are number 1 to me, one, you saw what they did his rookie year, broke the rookie record that Jefferson had set the year before. Not only that, though, they're boys. They know each other. It goes deeper. So,
My turn?
Yes, it's on you.
Okay, I'm going to guess the number 9 or number 10 combo. You ready? Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Put him up there, Parker.
I was
number
gonna say
9.
it.
Oh, I knew it!
I was gonna.
I knew you were going to crap all over this one.
No, listen. I was gonna say them, but I thought Braylon hates Amon-Ra so much he kept him off the list.
First of all,
That's why I said 9 or 10.
First of all, you got to stop saying that before people think it's true.
I know.
Listen. They made the top 10. They made number 9. Yes, they are on here, but I cannot put them in good faith ahead of guys that have already thought. Hey.
Hurry up, Ryan. I got my next one.
Okay, wait.
Go ahead.
Want me to go?
No, it's my. Oh, I got it.
Oh,
Okay.
shucks.
Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson.
They are on here. Put them up there. They are number
8.
They got them at number 8.
By the way, Garrett Wilson, know about the injury today? Apparently it's a nothing.
It is nothing.
Tweaked his ankle.
I saw the video. He jogged off the field,
Yeah.
like right when it happened. I got them up there number 8, and yes, you can say, oh, well, he didn't play with him last year.
Goff
He didn't play
and
with
St.
him.
Brown,
Okay.
and then
It's Garrett Wilson and it's Aaron Rodgers.
I got number 4.
Why you guys sound angry right now? Did I piss you off?
No, we're having fun.
This is the most fun I've had all week, actually.
I like the way you did it, too.
I'm going to guess number 4 or number 5 here.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp.
They are number 5.
There it is. I'm picking the
Look at
numbers.
Maz. They're number 5. I mean, people forgot about them last year. But what they did the year before that, he's Mr. Triple Crown.
I got another
Enough
one.
said.
I got number 6. I got number 6 locked up.
You guys are missing
I'm
1, 2, 3.
I'm going to take a stab here.
1, 2.
Yeah, you're not going to get mine then.
I'm going to take a stab here. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb.
That was mine. I said
Number
6.
6.
Yes!
I said 6.
Number 6.
I knew it was going to be number 6.
Number 6, Dak and CeeDee Lamb. You look at them. This will be their 4th year in the NFL together. This will be number 4. Number 4. So he's only gotten better and better and better. Last year he had his best season under Dak. So I look for them to take a jump too. There you go, man. What's up? What you got now?
Maz is up now.
Maz is on. Who got the last one?
I got the Dak
you got.
one.
Oh, you said
All right,
6 or you
I'm
said
going to give you a long shot here. Maybe number 7. Brock Purdy, Debo Samuel.
No.
All right. I figured I'd throw it out
They
there.
did not. It's a good 4 you still have in
Okay.
there. It's a good 4.
We're missing 4?
Wait,
okay.
did you just not?
I did a 10A and 10B.
Well, I had a miss, so I'm going to go again.
What was your miss?
My miss was
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy and Debo.
Samuel.
Oh.
I got Tebow. I got
Why are you so
How
bogged
do
down
you
with that?
mess with that Purdy bull?
I got I got Tua.
You give him another guess? Tua and who, though?
Waddle.
Tua and Waddle made the list. Coming in at 10B.
Wow, 10B.
Tua and Waddle are 10B.
So you're going to get a layup now,
I got
Ryan.
4. I have 4.
You got number 2.
Your layup.
And then, hold on, you missed, yeah, never mind. You guys didn't pay
No,
attention.
I got number 4 right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hurts and A.J. Brown.
Nope, not 4.
You got it. Yeah, they're not
Okay,
number
they're
4.
on the 7?
The 7.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown.
This is like Family Feud. I'm just
All right.
trying to fill up the board.
You know the answers. It's just where they go.
I got Tua and Tyreek.
Number 2. Tua and Tyreek Hill, number 2.
Tua and Tyreek, number 2? Well, that's a
it's
fake
technically
2.
3 because Burrow and Chase.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so that would be 3.
Okay.
So that would be 3.
Or 2B.
And yes, I mean, you look into the 2 last year, Tyreek Hill had 1,700 yards with Tua, and they missed 2 games together. You give them an extra 2 games, Tyreek Hill's at 2,000 yards with
So how many
Tua.
more names do we need?
One
more group.
2, it's only 2. 2 more groups. 2 groups. You won't get this group, and I'll give it to you.
No, don't give it to us.
You're not going to get it's AFC. It hasn't happened.
Don't give it to us yet.
It hasn't happened yet.
So that means it's a rookie.
Or
a second year playing Kenny Pickett.
Or it means it's free agents.
Oh, I got it. Lamar Jackson and OBJ.
Nah. Not on this list. No, because they got too many wide receivers. They're going to spread the love around, and their best wide receiver isn't even the wide receiver; it's a tight end. It's Mark Andrews. It wouldn't be them. They're going to be dynamic. I might pick them to win the AFC.
Deshaun Watson.
That's a sleeper one.
Amari Cooper. That's what I was gonna say.
That's a sleeper one. I can't believe you guys haven't got it yet.
I was gonna say
Justin Herbert.
What wide receiver led the league last year in touchdowns and yards?
Devontae Adams.
Well, he was 3rd in yards. Devontae Adams.
Garoppolo.
There it is.
Jimmy
And for those of you that jump on here and say, but Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw the ball. Deebo Samuel had 1,500 yards in 2021 with Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's a mid-level wide receiver. Devontae Adams is about to go ham with Jimmy G, and he's not going to throw any interceptions.
Are we missing one now?
Yeah.
Hey, before you do that, can I just say that the Tigers game has gone final. Shohei Ohtani, a complete game shutout on the mound.
How many hits?
I don't know.
I know he had a one-hitter through 6.
I saw a couple of guys
I
on
think,
base.
I mean, he hit. Yeah, we got him all. The only one I did.
One hitter.
One hitter. Unbelievable.
Kerry Carpenter's only hit.
I did a 10A, 10B. 10B was... You got to have this guy in there with somebody because, I mean, he is right now currently the highest paid quarterback in the league. Herbert and Williams. I put Mike Williams.
I was wondering who you were going to put with Herbert.
And the reason why I put Mike Williams is because he has more production in the last 3 years than Keenan Allen does with Herbert. They have 33 touchdowns, and I want to say 180 catches in the last 2 years.
How about Sam Howell and...
Braylon, this has been the
Jahan
most.
Dotson?
This has been the most fun top
Kelsey?
10 list I've ever done.
Oh, Scary Terry.
Yeah, Scary McLaurin.
This is the most fun top 10
I love
list
that.
I've
But
ever
I like
had.
how you switched it, though. I like doing it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
I was calling my shot, by the
Family
way.
Feud
You did,
style.
though. You did.
Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, explosive Sean Payton. He went scorched earth.
Yeah.
And we'll go around the NFL. But first, a message from Big Boy. Great job, Braylon.
Hey, Strawberry
appreciate
Fest
it.
continuing at Big Boy. Start your day with a great breakfast. The strawberry hot cakes, the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. And after that, you can get a little lunch or a little midday snack, a little brunch with the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or the refreshing summer splash salad. And for dessert, the classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreo, and the strawberry hot fudge cake. You can also just order a Big Boy at your favorite hometown Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Make sure it's seen and heard. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. We are the network Network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company. Your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractors, Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. If you would like more information, visit OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Background, I just ran into Gabby and asked her a question. She's talking about dance. She told my legs hurt. So I was trying to get my legs strong like hers. She said, "With all those years of ballet," and it got me to thinking. I forgot when I was in King High School, Coach Reynolds, he had us do dance my freshman year. You got to do it freshman and sophomore year. You had to take dance, and if you didn't do it, you couldn't play football. Did you have to do anything crazy like that?
Did you see Ryan dancing on the 9 the other night?
He was cutting the fool.
You know what time it is.
He was dancing.
Can you dance, Ryan?
No, dude. Crazy.
The girls had him dancing.
I can't dance.
You're honest. You're honest.
Oh, man, I can't be doing that.
Speaking of honest, you got to watch that Oscar De La Hoya.
I will. Oscar De La Hoya on Max, HBO Max.
I watched the Wham documentary last night.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
How
Good
was
for
it?
you.
I loved it.
This is my favorite
Good for you,
Christmas song.
Maz.
That was great.
Last Christmas.
There's a great story about that.
Oh, very good.
I'm going to save it. I got to watch it on the show.
Yeah.
You know what was also great? Sean Payton.
Ooh.
Just absolutely going scorch earth.
Pipe bomb.
On Nathaniel Hackett and the coaching staff of the 2022 Denver Broncos. This is from Dove reporting this from Jarrett Bell. It's via Jarrett Bell. Here's the quote from Sean Payton, who's the Broncos coach now. They can beat the bleep out of you. How badly the coaching staff was on the Broncos last year. They can bleep the bleep out of you so much, but everybody's got a little stink on their hands. It's not just Russell. It was a poor offensive line. It might have been the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad it was. One of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. Ari Meirov then says, Ari Meirov tweet, again, this is through Jarrett Bell. Sean Payton says he's going to be pissed off if we're not a playoff team and Russell Wilson was working with one of the worst coaching staffs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad Nathaniel Hackett and the Denver Broncos were last year.
This is the new Jets offensive coordinator he's talking about, Nathaniel Hackett.
But again, Nathaniel Hackett took the Denver coaching job. The Denver Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett because they thought he could get Aaron Rodgers to come to Denver with him.
Correct.
That was round peg, square hole.
Yep.
Braylon, you've been saying that for a while. I told you.
You knew it was coming. You knew I told you it was coming. And the reason why I told you it was coming is last year, and this isn't me attacking you guys, but this is me putting you in there, Ryan.
I think it is.
When Russell Wilson was playing as bad as he was playing, I said this. That coach doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I don't care how bad Russell was playing. That coach doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't have any experience being the head man. Not everybody is supposed to be a head coach. Just because you're an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, just because you have experience with special teams. In the case of John Harbaugh, not everybody's meant to be a coach. Nathaniel Hackett didn't know what he was doing. And it's not like it was just Russell that played bad. They led the league in sacks. They led the league in penalties. They led the league in offsides for the offensive linemen. They led the league in every bad category on offense. That's not all on Russell Wilson. And with all that last year, did Russell Wilson complain at any point in time? Did Russell Wilson come and say, man, it's not on me? What if the wide receivers would catch the ball? What if Nathaniel Hackett knew how to coach? He never said that. He took all those jokes in stride, all that Broncos Nation, let's ride, all that he no longer should be a Hall of Famer. He took all that in stride. All that in stride and kept saying Broncos Nation, kept praying with the other players on the team after that. Stayed the course. Sean Payton waited. He waited. He didn't do this when he first got to Denver. He waited till OTAs were over so he could learn what type of man Russell Wilson was, so he could learn what type of team the Denver Broncos was. He waited till it was right before camp, and this is called Masterclass Coaching 101 and how to get a team motivated. Then once camp started, he went after Nathaniel Hackett, who botched the whole situation up last year. He went after all the coaches that were on that staff with the Broncos last year, except the defensive side. He went after all of them and said, this team had no business playing under those circumstances. Don't you think Russell's ready to ride for sure now? Don't you think the rest of the Denver Broncos are like, you know what? That's what the hell we needed. We need a coach that knew what he was doing. That's what you get with Sean Payton. And Ryan, you called it from day one. Sean Payton was going to clean shit up over there. And damn it, he did. Excuse my French.
First of all, can I say I told you that Denver is my sleeper team this year?
No, you already picked the Browns.
What? No.
I picked Denver last year.
What did I say about the Kansas City Chiefs winning that division?
You said the Lions got a better chance winning the NFC North.
Because
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough out here in the West. It's going to be tough out here in the West. So just here's some more quotes. It doesn't happen often where an NFL team or an organization gets embarrassed, and that happened here. Part of it was their own fault relative to spending so much bleeping time trying to win the offseason, the pomp, the circumstance, marching people around, and all this stuff. We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch Hard Knocks, all of it, I could see it coming. Remember when former Washington owner Dan Snyder put the dream team together? I was at the Giants in 2000. I was a young coach. I thought, how are we going to compete with them? Deion Sanders is there now. The team won 8 games or whatever. So listen, just put in the work. The Broncos play the Jets in Week 5. Nathaniel Hackett's team, Robert Saleh says, I'm not going to acknowledge Sean. He's been in the league for a while. He can say whatever the hell he wants. As far as what we got going on over here, I kind of live by the saying, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, so hate away.
Remember Nathaniel Hackett last year was so bad, so inept, that he had to bring in someone to help him to coach. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
He brought in a helper. It was like bringing in an intern to help you. That's how overmatched he was. And I feel bad for the guy. He's got a great reputation. He's got a great reputation. I think Sean Payton, man, I think he might have bit off more than he could chew, because when the Jets get a hold of the Broncos, you're going to see who's riding.
I think you might forget that Sean Payton's a Hall of Fame head coach. He ain't scared of Robert Saleh.
I agree with you. 100% he's a Hall of Fame coach, but at the same time, what they're saying about Nathaniel Hackett isn't not true. He did a horrible job as the coach. They didn't say he was a horrible offensive coordinator, but he was a horrible offensive coordinator last year. He was very terrible with what the system was with the Denver Broncos last year. Just because you got a great player doesn't mean, and if it's a quarterback, it doesn't mean you got a great quarterback that's going to the Hall of Fame, that if you put him in there, they should win games, that you don't have to do your job as the head coach. He's not going after Nathaniel Hackett being an offensive coordinator with the New York Jets. He's going after that product that he put on the field last year with the Denver Broncos. I mean, just look at these scores last year for them. They scored 17, followed by 9, followed by 10, followed by 20, followed by 9, followed by 16, followed by 9, followed by 10.
You bring up a great point, okay?
Like, if they could have just scored 20 points a couple of these games, they could have won 10 games last year.
And that is why I think they're going to be better. If you look at what they gave up defensively, see, that's where Denver has an elite defense. If you go through their 2022 schedule, they lost games by allowing 17 points, 12 points, 19 points,
10
16 points, 17 points, 22 points in overtime.
They lost 10-9 one game.
Yeah, they did not lose 10-9.
They did lose 10-9 December 4th.
Oh yeah, they lost 10-9 against Baltimore. 4th. But I'm just saying they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in which they allowed under 20 points. And 6.
Yeah.
Also, that's a lot of games.
Also, what Sean Payton understands what Sean Payton understands more than anything is the quarterback position. His right-hand man was who? It was Drew Brees. They were connected at the hip. They did everything together. They figured out the game together. He's connected at the hip to his quarterback. He understands that's how you have success, is the quarterback has to be good. This is him coming to the defense of his quarterback. Because what's the most fragile thing that can happen? Quarterback confidence. Remember Jared Goff when he first got here? That was a quarterback with no confidence in himself. Russell Wilson, after a season like last year where everybody was like, oh my God, this guy's a bum. He no longer deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It was always the Legion of Boom. It was never him. That confidence is in a fragile space. And something like this is a great coach getting you that confidence
Just
back.
want to correct myself. They lost 7 games last year where they allowed 17 points or less. One of the games they lost 22-16, but it was 16-16 heading into overtime, and they ended up losing 22-16. I got to get a break in. I want to go around the NFL. You'll hear from Matt Stafford as well on the trade rumors. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
Number again, 1-800.
Stay
out.
out.
Call today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Stay out.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. For Detroit, by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
What could be better than playing golf with some celebrities? Playing golf by yourself and acting
That's for the
like
next
a
one.
celebrity. All right. Playing golf. Stop in Randy Wise anytime, and we'll get you a little bit later.
We're going to get that Randy
All right,
Wise
Randy.
up there again. But first, guys, Tom, I will come to you, though, because we are going to go around the NFL, sir.
All right, let's do it. All right, you did tease Matthew Stafford, so I will go to Matthew Stafford here. And he was asked about all the trade rumors and about his contract, if they were going to renegotiate his contract. This is what he had to say to the Ram press yesterday.
Kind of react to it? I don't react to it at all, to be honest with you. I'm too busy chasing around 4 kids. But no, I mean, I hear that stuff. I have contact with them all the time. I'm sure I don't. I'm not sitting in on all those calls, but I get most of the details. But I see it as flattering, I guess, that other teams would want to reach out and have me come play for them. I just know that I'm really happy where I am, playing for this team, playing for this coach, and these fans. So.
Did the Rams reach out to your agent or to you about possible renegotiation or restructure of your contract?
I'm always in contact with them again on everything in those regards. They did, and I'll keep all that kind of stuff, those kind of conversations in house. But I'll just leave it at that.
Matthew, how much?
I got kids, man.
Matthew Stafford got 183 million problems, and the Rams ain't one. And the Rams ain't one. He ain't give none of that cash back. They put all that money into him. He won them a Super Bowl. It's a payout. That's why he easy said, man, I don't pay attention to that stuff. Yeah, I don't let that bother me. I wouldn't let it bother me either if I had a ring and 183 on the way. He did the right thing.
They're another one of my sleeper teams this year. I don't think the Rams are going to be 5 and whatever or 7 and 10. I think they're going to be a threat to make the playoffs. I think by week 15, what do you got, 18 weeks of the regular season? Yeah. I think they're going to be within a game or two of the playoffs on week 15.
And here's something I got for you, okay? Here's a question I got for you. I asked this question before, and it got both of us in trouble. It was talking about Michigan State. But I'm going to pose this question to you about the Rams. Outside of Aaron Donald, Who's on that defense?
I don't know.
Exactly. That defense is horrible. Last year, the defense was horrible, and Aaron Donald was the only player. And then Bobby Wagner got traded in the offseason or left in the offseason. That defense is a bunch of young guys who are unproven. That's what scares me the most about that team. Not to mention, I know we don't care about the running back position, but they don't have a running back.
Jalen Ramsey's gone as well. He got hurt today. Got carted off in Miami. A lot of good players going down in this in the practices here. It's not a good way to start your year, but it's tough out there. Another guy we talk about.
The only thing about the Rams, though, just quickly.
Yeah, sure.
They could start 0-3.
Yeah.
You know, at Seattle, San Francisco, and then at the Bungles.
Easy 0-3.
They could or they will.
You know, if they win one of those games, you're like, I feel good about this.
Speaking of the Bengals, Joe Burrow is a guy that he's next up, right? He's going to get paid. So they're asking him, hey, you're going to get paid. Do you want to renegotiate your contract? He's like, listen, I'm here to play football. That's first.
I think every situation is unique, and every guy is unique. And every position is unique too. I think, personally, I feel in my position, I don't want to waste any of these days that I have to get better. I've wasted enough days the last 2 years with injuries and appendicitis and COVID the year before that. I don't want to get out of camp wishing that I had 7 more days that I could have got better. And so that's the reason I'm here. Maybe business comes first at some point, but I need these days to be my best.
Is there a certain feeling?
I wish every contract was like the quarterback that everybody liked. Because the reason why he can sit up there and say those things like, I missed so much time with the appendicitis, and that's just me mocking him because I like Joe Burrow a lot. But the reason why he can sit up there, because guys like that, they don't have to ask to get paid. He's going to get paid. Like, there's nothing in him that is telling him, I wonder what it's going to be like when I'm up to negotiate. Should I go to them or let me call my agent and figure this process out. Guys like him, guys like Herbert, guys like Jalen Hurts, guys like that, guys like Devontae Adams, I'm not labeling this to just one side. Guys like that, they have no worries anymore. Those guys are going to get paid, and I wish it was like that for everybody. When you do a good job, when you do what you're supposed to do, everybody should get paid. It's just not like that.
Hey, Frank Reich made the decision in Carolina. You heard it. Braylon said he was going to start from day one. Bryce Young will be the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL. He is your new Panthers starting quarterback. Guess who gets to take a seat? The Red Rifle will sit behind him, Andy Dalton.
And he don't sit right behind it. I mean,
you got to.
I'll tell you, when you hear this kid talk,
he's the real deal.
You can't not fall in love with him.
He's the real deal. He's the real deal. He's seasoned. He's poised. I mean, that's what happened when you go to Alabama. Alabama is an introduction to the NFL. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, those are NFL programs. I mean, you throw Michigan in there now too. These are NFL programs. These guys are ready. They speak the language. They know it on the field. But I don't believe that the Saints are the foregone conclusion to win that division. I just really don't. I like the defense of Carolina last year. I did not like the defense.
Michael Thomas back?
Allegedly. He's back every year, though. I mean, he's back every year, and then something happens. Last year, he played the first 2 games and was done the rest of the season. So I just don't know about the Saints. Last year, their defense wasn't good because I had them in fantasy, so I know. Their strength has always been the defense. They were bad last year, so Carolina could make an ugly win, 9-8, win that division.
Hey, we got 2 holdouts right now, 2 big-name holdouts. One of them in San Francisco, Nick Bosa, sitting out. He's waiting for that big payday, Bray. That's your guy.
Yeah, 2 big contracts. The other one is Witherspoon for the Seattle Seahawks.
That's what I was going to bring up.
My apologies. Yeah, he'll get paid. But the one with Nick Bosa, they're going to pay him. They're going to pay him. They're just getting the contract, the language together. But his deal is going to be massive. It's going to be the largest defensive contract of all time. They're just getting those numbers correct for him. But his deal is done. Witherspoon, on the other hand, he's a guy that wants all the money he's going to get. You don't get too many cracks at this. And I think rookie guys are starting to be smarter, man. You're looking at a Saquon Barkley. You're looking at some of these guys that can't get the money they want, can't get moved when they want. So guys are trying to put those contracts, like you said, Ryan, in their rookie year, so that they'll be safe when they come out year 3 or 4 or 5.
Who's the highest paid defensive player? Aaron Donald, $31.7 million. T.J. Watt, $28 million.
Nick Bosa is probably getting somewhere in the neighborhood of
Joey Bosa, $27 million.
33. 32, 33.
Yeah. More so than Aaron Donald.
Because he's younger.
Yeah.
Like, he's younger. He's next up. Aaron Donald is in year 10. This is it sucks, but it happens fast. This is year 10 for Aaron Donald. You're talking about a position where all they do is, physicality. Nick Bosa's a little younger. He's about to get paid.
Hey, I got one for you and me, Rye. You ready?
Hey, can we just explore this Devin Witherspoon situation real quick? He's the only one of the every single player that has been drafted in the NFL in 2023 has been signed except one. What could you possibly be waiting on? It's all slotted, is it not? Like, what could be possibly
I have no idea.
The holdup?
It's not about all slotted. It's about what Sauce Gardner did last year. He changed the position. Sauce Gardner was drafted number 4 overall. He signed a regular rookie contract. Meanwhile, in year 1, he's all pro. He's all pro 1. He's all pro 1. They're looking at it from that nowadays. There aren't lockdown, shutdown cornerbacks that come through every draft anymore. There may be one, and maybe some good ones. Last year was a special deal. There's only 2 cornerbacks that they talked about all year. Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. I only know that because the Lions were heavy in his sweepstakes forever. And Devon Witherspoon, who came on late and became the number 1. He's trying to get all the money he can. He was the number 1 DB drafted. You see what Sauce Gardner did last year. These are the kind of things that come up in conversation. Hey, what if I'm this? What if I'm that? Not to mention he has to protect himself because guess who's on the other side of Devon Witherspoon? The guy that was runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. He's got to go against him, too. He's got to get all the money he can this first contract.
Could have been a Lion.
Just for the record.
100%. What's the DB from Seattle?
I forget.
I had to come to him. My God, Tariq Woolen. So if you're him, you're like, we're going to be up around the same time. Let me get all the money I can now.
Sauce Gardner last year, 4-year deal, $38.7 million, $25 million signing bonus. More than that.
He did way more than that. If you now
but he was picked at 4.
Now put his deal.
Not 11.
True.
No, 5. Devin Witherspoon was 5.
Oh, Witherspoon went 5.
Yeah.
That's right.
5.
The Lions were going to pick 6.
Right.
My bad.
Yeah.
So you're looking at that and you're lining up like, what did the top DBs do in the league last year that were making that money? The Jalen Ramseys, the Patrick Surtains, they ain't do better than Sauce Gardner.
Tom Mazawey, what do you want to tell us from Randy Wise?
Oh, it's my time. Randy Wise, you know it, playing golf like a celebrity. God bless you, and God bless you all. Stop at any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity, a VIP transportation, free golf to one of Michigan's best tracks, and a tasty steak afterwards. Compliments of Fairway Packing Company. Make the wise decision. Get to a Randy Wise today for your chance to win.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
How about Donovan Edwards throwing out the first pitch of the Tigers game today? Unfortunately, if you're just joining us, Tigers did lose today.
Well, they got one hit.
They got one. That's all they got?
So
that's it.
One
hit.
So you know what that
Kerry
means?
Carpenter.
Shohei Ohtani, a complete game, 97 pitch shutout, one hitter.
You know what that means? That means his services will no longer be required. He's bad luck.
Got a double header game number 2 coming up soon afterwards, I think, here.
Guys, I do want to make mention of this. I think this is important to share with everybody. This is from Shams Sharania. USC's Bronny James has been discharged from the hospital and is home resting after being treated for sudden cardiac arrest at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where he arrived fully conscious, neurologically intact, and stable. So that is incredible news. There is a statement here that I'm not going to read, but
LeBron
he is
has
okay.
LeBron has something I put up there. He reached out to everyone today on Twitter.
I want to thank the countless people sending my family love and prayers. We feel you, and I'm so grateful. Everyone is doing great. We have our family together, safe and healthy, and we feel your love. We'll have more to say when we're ready, but I wanted to tell everyone how much your support has meant to all of us. That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, no, that's fire, man. LeBron James, he's always been good with people. He's always been good with the fans. And the fans love him, as they should. He's done a lot by the community. So it's good that Bronny's home. It's good that LeBron and his family in Savannah are doing well. Dang, I can't believe it's been 20-plus years.
Crazy, right?
I was thinking out loud. I remember, like, when Bronny was younger. That overlap, being in Cleveland in 2005, I got drafted. He was drafted 2003, so, I hung out with Savannah and LeBron a bit at XO.
A little XO.
A little good steakhouse back in the day.
There you go. Maz, what about your boy Malik Willis? We'll end on a high note.
That's our guy, man. And Mike Vrabel gave some good words on Malik Willis, basically saying how much improvement he is showing. And there was rumors back about a month ago that he was ahead of Will Levis at one point.
The good thing for him is it's about the situation. It's about who's teaching you. It's about who's coaching you. You look at Ryan Tannehill over the past couple of years. He hasn't gotten better as a quarterback. He hasn't done anything better. So who was coaching that guy last year? It seems like they got a new guy in there, new offensive coordinator, new quarterbacks coach, and obviously he's catching on to the system. So like you said, man, it's about where you go. Do people care about you? And if people care about you, you can get better.
There you go. Don't want to waste the Houston Oilers shirt there, Bray. The Tennessee Titans will wear the Houston Oilers colors when they play the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I'm a purist, man. That's why I wore the shirt today. I'm representing favorite team growing up. My dad played for the Oilers. And speaking of that, we got a picture of my dad in the Oilers. Parker, throw the picture up there if you got it, my brother. I know it was last minute. I actually forgot about it, too, so that's now you. I wish the picture was in color, man, so you really can get the full effect.
Oh, I know. Love You Blue, man.
But you know what the Love You Blue is.
I love it, man. They played in the House of Pain. The Oilers' name should still be in NFL.
The Oilers.
They should.
And by the way, my dad is in a group chat with a lot of those old Oiler guys, and I asked him today, I said, how do you guys feel about Tennessee and the Love You Blue? I got a lot of FUs from the guy that used to play for the Oilers because they believe it should have stayed in Houston. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, they all agree with you guys 100%. To hell with that. It should have stayed.
Get rid of the Texans, bring back the Oilers.
Yeah, get rid of Texans, bring back the Oilers. If we don't have it, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll show it tomorrow.
No biggie.
Get us out of here, big fella.
Picture come. Oh, hey, there we go. Parker in the clutch.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Parker in the clutch. Look at that Jack Lambert Mask.
Oh, mama.
Is at the end. No,
what do they call that Oiler thing there?
The oil drum.
The what?
The oil drum.
No, the oil dicky.
The oil
dicky. The oil derrick.
The oil derrick. That's what I meant. The oil drum.
The oil derrick.
That's what it was. But yeah, that's
very good.
That's Pops back in the day, man, getting the shine on. Well, for Ermanni and Edwards and Maz, my boy JB is Park over there. Another great show. We'll see you guys tomorrow at Dispo.
Hey, we got a special surprise tomorrow for you wrestling fans.
Ooh, shout out to the WWE fans. We will have a guy. He's a high flyer. He's a guy that does a lot of flips. But that's the last thing I will say. See you tomorrow. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We are Ermanni and Edwards.
See ya.
You know what time it is.